Hello everyone, welcome back to my craft room. Today I'm going to make a project that uses the Honeybee stamp set and the beautiful designer series paper that you can earn for free if you place an order of £45 or more. And as you can see, it's all bee related, but it's black and white as well, so that will go with anything. Now let me just show you the project that we're going to make. It's what I'm calling my honeybee box, and you can see why, because it's got bees on it and it's also octagonal in shape, so I thought it looked a bit like a beehive. So let me get on and tell you what you need to make this project. You're going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 8 inches by 10.5. You're going to need some designer series paper, and as you can see I've chosen the one with the little hexagons on, but you could choose any paper. I just thought that looked like the beehive, you know, where the bees lay their honey, so I thought that was lovely. You're going to need some Daffodil Delight card, which you will use the honeybee dies, the detailed dies that coordinate with the stamp set. And you can see there are 2 bees on there, and you need to die cut those 2 out of Daffodil Delight. Now with your piece of Whisper White card, which is what I've used, you need to score on the long side at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 5 inches, 6 1/4, 7 1/2, 8 3/4 and 10. And then you're going to turn it and you're going to score at 1 1/4, 2 3/4 and 5 inches. Then you're going to turn it back again and you're going to score at, I need to get this right, 1 7/8, 4 3/8, 6 7/8 and 9 3/8. But you only need to score to the first horizontal line. Once you've done that, then you need to do some cutting. Now if you imagine this is a box basically, and you're going to cut these lines here up to the first horizontal. These will make the bottom of your box, and then on these score lines you're going to cut here down to the first horizontal. Now one thing I didn't say was, on these score lines here, you need to score from where they meet the horizontal to where they meet these 2 corners. Okay, so you're going to score from there to this one, there to this one, and all the way along. And you need to do it on the box, underneath the box where you made those score lines, and you will end up with it looking like this. You're going to remove these 2 boxes here, this one and this one, and this one down the end. And when you've done that, you need to then fold and burnish all of your lines, and you will end up with a piece that looks like this. Now I've already done it, alright, but I do need to do a little bit more burnishing here on these. I've got a bit of a mark on my... That's better. Right, okay. Now what I suggest you do is, once you've scored and you've cut all your pieces out, you need to put your designer series paper on. So let me give you the sizes for your designer series paper. Now I've already cut mine out, and you need 4 pieces that measure 1 1/8 squared, and let me find them. I know I've got them here. Oh, here we go. So you need 4 squares that measure 1 1/8, and they are going to go on each of those. Oh, and as you can see, I've forgotten to cut off one of the flaps. Let me just do that before we go any further. And the easiest way to do it is if you fold down the flaps either side, then they won't get in your way, and you'll get a nice straight line like so. Now keep one of these pieces and I will explain why. So you're going to need, as I said, you're going to need 4 squares of designer series paper that measure 1 1/8 by 1 1/8. You need 4 pieces that measure 1 1/8 by 1 3/8, and then you're going to need 8 pieces that measure 1 1/8 by 2 1/8. Okay, so I'm just going to do some gluing and glue all these pieces on, and I will probably quicken up the video once I've got started, but I'll just show you how we're going along. Okay, that's all my pieces done. Now what I need to do is I need to make some holes in here. So remember I said keep hold of a piece of the card that you cut out here. So what I've done is I've just drawn a diagonal line from corner to corner, and then I've punched a hole in the middle, and this will give me the place so I can then use that as a placement for where I need the hole for the ribbon to go on my box. I'm just using that as a guide. And bring in a hole punch, and you need a hole punch that's big enough for your ribbon. now we can put our box together, and because we've got a box of equal sides, it's just as easy to fold your two of the sides over so they meet in the centre, and then you can just pop some glue on this flap here. Bit of a splurge of glue there. Let's just hold that in place. And what I like to do is just unfold it and then put it onto the where the join is, and just make sure it's nice and straight and that it all lines up properly. Yeah, there we go. Okay, right, so now we need to put the bottom of our box together. So it's quite easy really. You just choose one side of your box and you take the opposite flaps. Alright, so I've got 3 flaps here, 3 flaps there, and I'm literally going to take those 2 flaps that are opposite each other and fold them down. So I'm going to put a bit of glue on the end of that one. Oh, now my glue won't come out. I'm going to put a bit of glue on there, and then just fold it down, and then just make sure that the edges all line up like so, and you can just about get your hand in there just to make sure that they're all lined up and they're lying nice and flat like so. Okay, and then you do the same again, just move round, and you're going to take the next one, and we'll put some glue on it. We'll pop a bit of glue on this bit. I'm going to move that over. Again, line it up. Keep making sure that these 2 sides are lined up, and then it will mean that your box is evenly spaced on each side. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue here in the middle, because I'm now going to take this one and I'm going to put some glue on here, a bit of glue on here, and I'm still making sure that those 2 pieces are lined up. Okay, and again I'm going to put some glue in the middle here to catch this one down. Put some glue on here, bit of glue on there. Line that up, make sure it's lined up nicely. And now what I can do is I can turn it over, and with my bone folder I can just literally push it down and make sure, yeah, okay. So you can see how even that is. In fact, it's found its own way there. Brilliant, lovely. So now what we're going to do is those diagonals that you folded, you're going to push inwards, right? So these are the ones that you folded and burnished, and they need to go inwards like so. Okay, yeah. And then you can then see how we're going. So those, it's going to look like this in the end. Before we do that, however, we need to put something as an entrance for our bees to go into. Now I need a piece of black card, and I thought I had a piece here. Just bear with me a minute while I find some black card. What I'm going to do is we're going to put a little entrance to the hive, and I'm using the Label Me Fancy punch, which is one of the new ones that's in our current catalogue. Alright, And all I'm going to do is I'm going to feed my cardstock in, but I'm not going all the way down because there's not a very big hole for the little bees to get through, but just making sure it's even. Can you see? Punch a little bit of card out. And then this I'm going to glue on one of my sides. And where's my join? I can't even see the join. Okay, we'll have that side there. Now we'll have that side there. And I'm just going to put it down the bottom. There you go. Okay. So that's the entrance to the hive for the bees. Now what we need to do is we need to do our bees. I'm just going to move this out of the way for the moment, because what I need to bring in is I need to bring in my Stamparatus. Now I had it a minute ago. I'm just going to stop you for a moment. Hello everyone, I'm back. I found my Stamparatus, and as you can see, what I've done is I've created a template for the two bees, and I've just used the dies from the coordinating set. And then what I do is I place the bees in the holes, and then I can then pop them onto a plate so that I can stamp them in the right place. Now what I've done is I've already die cut two of the bees in Daffodil Delight, and they will slot into my template like so. Okay, then I will put some ink, and I'm just using ordinary Memento Black ink on my bees, and then bring them over and stamp, and hopefully I will get two lovely bees. There we go. Oh, I think I'll give them a little bit more colour. Need a bit more black on them, I think, which is the wonderful thing about the Stamparatus. If you think you need to add a little bit more colour, you can, and you'll get them back in the right place. That's better. So now I'm just going to lift them out of there, and I will pop this in my stamp set, so I've got this to use again. And I'll clean those off in a moment. Whilst I was looking for my Stamparatus, of course, as it does, the sun has started to go down, and we're getting evening in North Devon. So I've had to turn some lights on, so I do apologise. Now I need to decide where I'm going to put my bees. And I thought I would use some dimensionals to put behind my bees. So let's get one of those. I want to put one down the middle of this one. And I'm just going to give those a little bit of a bend. I'm sorry the light's not so good. And we'll pop one of the bees here. This one's just flying out of the hive, and this one looks like it's going to fly in. Like so. And then what I need to do is I need to make a loop with my ribbon, and this is 10 inches of Daffodil Delight ruched ribbon that's also in the new catalogue, and you need to fold it in half and then make a knot, and don't pull your knot too tight, keep it quite fat, and then you just feed it through the holes. And there we go. There we have our Beehive box. So I've now got 2 of them. That one needs the ribbon going through a bit. And I've now got 2 Beehive boxes, and I think they would look nice filled with honey, or you could fill them with sweets or soaps even. I think they would look really nice, wouldn't they? So thank you very much for watching today. I will be doing a blog post, and I will write down on the blog post everything that I've made and all of the measurements as well. So pop over to my blog and I'll put the details on there. Thank you for watching. Bye.